Our recording is in progress. All right, everyone, welcome. So as I said, my name is Suzanne Comer, and I am Secretary of L&D Philly, and welcome today to our special presentation, really hands-on on some tips and tricks for Canva. As you've been watching on our screen, I'm on our home page here. I just want to highlight a few of our upcoming events. Oh, that's a good one to start with. We have Coaching Essentials for non-coaches, and that is with Bernadette Costello. If you have been in the job market recently or on any interviews, no matter what L&D position that you are looking at, there is always a question, what's your experience with coaching? Employers are looking, it's hot right now. And if you don't want to do the 1,000, 2,000 hours of certification, this is a good way to learn the essentials so that you have a good basis and speak intelligently to it. We also have coming up on October 12th, New Hope for Learning Evaluation. Always learning evaluation, something that we as L&D professionals are passionate about, because we are always put in a position of justifying our existence and providing metrics. So we have our speaker who wrote a book, and Dr. Will be sharing his insight with us. Another virtual, another certification class takes place on 4 dates in November and December with Cassie Labori. She recently presented to our group, and it was extremely engaging. She gave us so many tips. I can't imagine, she in an hour and a half, everybody walked away with a ton of things to share. And this virtual certification, I'm sure, is going to be excellent. And then, wait, before we go, okay. Before we get to today, what you're here already, if you are not a member, membership is $25. That means that all webinars like this one are free for members. So definitely a value proposition there. We do have some upcoming in-person events. That is not our in-person event. That is not our in-person event. Yes, I just want to highlight our in-person event coming up on October 14th. Ben is amazing, master of improv, and through exercises and hands-on, be ready to, stand up and participate. He's going to go through some icebreakers that you can use either virtually or in person, and he's always fun. So if you have not had the opportunity to take a seminar with Ben, this is a great opportunity. We have a lot going on, guys. Learn-a-palooza, if you want to, L&D Philly members can get a discount on that. And then we're in January, so I'm going to January and February. You can skim on your own. With that said, I just want to share our sponsors, which of course we are very grateful to. I don't think we have anybody on for Degree, but Degree sponsors our weekly email. And then also Judge is our website sponsor. So thank you to Degree and Judge. And if you know of anybody else who wants to fill this little square and be a sponsor of ours, we're always open to customizing our sponsorship to what our clients need. All right, with that, I will go to home again. Okay. Oh, well, we have so many things. That is crazy how many events we have coming up. December 7th. This is the last one. December 7th. is Dr. Keith Keating. He also has a new book out about, we all know what it's like to feel like we are order takers, and no matter how hard we try, so it's a hard position to get out of, to being in on the planning from the beginning and being a trusted learning advisor. So Dr. Keith Keating, and that's on December 7th. All right. I'm going to stop sharing, and I want to welcome, and I'm turning over the presentation to Rachel Hamburger. Rachel, all those nice graphics you saw for all our events, Rachel is a volunteer with L&D Philly. She does all of our graphics for us, and she has really become a master at using Canva in all sorts of ways that you never knew it could be used. So I'm really excited. This course was a personal request of mine for us to have. And Rachel, welcome.
Thank you, Suzanne. Hi, it's really nice to see everyone this evening. I am Rachel Hamburger. I do the designs for L&D Philly. I definitely wouldn't say that I am a Canva master by any means, but I'm excited to share with everyone just some different tools that I've learned and some system navigation to really help create some different and unique type of templates and use cases for Canva. You alluded to this, Suzanne, as you were going through the events. As you know, L&D team members, we often work on small teams. We don't always have a graphics team, a design team, all these, different elements. And so for myself, coming from the startup world, that's resources that we don't typically have. So I've gotten a little scrappy, as they say, and been able to really understand how to use some different Canva elements to, help move things along and really get that kind of interest, buy-in, learning stickiness that I think we're all, hoping for from that perspective. I will not be going through any slides today. I have a personal rule that no slides after 7 p.m. So you are all saved. I won't be going through anything like that. What we'll do is we'll go through, I'm going to live share my screen. We'll walk through a bunch of navigation things. We will be able to create some designs together as well. And so we can make it like really fun and engaging and make sure that you all walk away with hopefully the tools that you're looking for. So that's, I think, how this is going to go. I think before we get started, I would love to just try to learn a little bit more about your, I guess, levels or how often that y'all use Canva. So let's do like a little bit of just an emoji poll, if you will. So at the bottom of the Zoom screen, you're going to see all those different buttons. There's one that has a smiley face for reactions. So I'm going to ask 3 different levels. I'll ask if you're like a beginner, if you're an intermediate, or if you've used it a lot and like want to learn different things. And then when we get to the section that applies to you, I'll just ask you to give a thumbs up emoji so we can try to gauge where whatever one's level is. Sound fair? Okay. Cool. All right. So if you have never used Canva before, you don't have an account, this is really your first time diving into the tool, go ahead and give us a thumbs up reaction here. Okay. Great. All right. How about if you have used it a little bit, but would say maybe you're like intermediate in using Canva, give us a thumbs up emoji there. All right, Josh, Irene, Suzanne, okay. If anyone would consider themselves a master of Canva, go ahead and give a thumbs up. I'm not going to give myself one either. Okay, cool. All right, excellent. Well, so we're going to walk through Canva. I'm going to help everyone get set up with a free account if we don't already have one. 2 things that I want to mention before we dive into the tool. The first thing is accessibility is such a key part of L&D and in doing any sort of design work. I'm sure most of you know there's a lot of different, rules and standards and different things that we can do to make sure that designs and learning and the way that we present things are easily access to a number of different people. Accessibility is a very big part of design. It's not something that we'll be covering today. So we'll walk through how to use the tool. There are some really great, Josh and Suzanne, you might be able to fill in here, but we have some really great accessibility webinars bookmarked or available, right?
I'm trying to remember when the last thing we did is. We have touched on it in the past, but the one specifically Diane Elkins, who has spoken to us multiple times, I'll have to look for it. She along with like eLearning Birth and some other people started up this accessibility initiative that's got, I'll see if I can find it and throw it in the chat, but got all kinds of resources for if you're looking for designing with accessibility in mind, which I agree we should all be doing.
Yeah, so it's something I think is like fundamentally important. It takes a lot of time and energy to dive into. So we're not going to cover specifics around that, like font colors, choices, different things of that sort. But just thought it was worth mentioning that it is something that we should all pay a lot of attention to and give some time to. So the second question I have for everyone is, if you wouldn't mind just putting in the chat, when you think of Canva, what different type of tools or what different types of things are you hoping to create in Canva? Maybe just drop a couple of things in the chat just to see, like, just to kind of gauge what you're interested in. Is it making presentations? Is it logos? Is it something else really cool that I've never even thought about? Take a moment to think about it and then pop that in the chat so that way, hopefully we can make sure that we cover. All right, so we got QR codes. All right. So we will definitely cover QR codes. We will definitely cover how to use it to make job aids, presentations, videos, slides, graphics, all those like really sticky things. It is great. It is absolutely great for creating workbooks and participant workbooks, logos, stickers. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely all of those things. One thing that I have found like in the L&D world is with training and with different things, look and feel and design and accessibility for everyone is really important. A lot of times people are coming to the table and making that choice of how much information can I gauge and how much information can I gather from someone. And a lot of times like the design and the way things are laid out simply and thoughtfully and graphically plays a big part of it. So Canva, I think, just to give you a couple of use cases that I have used it for, I think is really helpful is, like y'all mentioned, assets, right? So adding things into quick reference guides and playbooks and meeting agendas, even just a difference of making maybe a unique divider in Canva versus something else in a document can be really, really helpful. I've also seen it done well in other companies where they will use Canva to create tiles for their learning management system. To be able to really present what that information is. I've seen some companies do it really nicely where sometimes they'll color code those different tiles. So maybe in your brand colors, maybe a purple means that that's a role specific type of training. Maybe an aqua means it's more on like the professional development or soft skill perspective. Maybe orange is something related to like an application or proprietary technology. So that's one other good way to use Canva. I've seen other people do a really nice job of using it to launch learning initiatives in a different type of way. So I'll give you an example. In my last company, we were fortunate to roll out a learning management system. And instead of just sending out, like communications and Slacks, like, hey, this is coming, here's how to log in, here's like a video on how to do it. We just curated this whole experience to make it feel like you got accepted into university. And so it was called Company University. And instead of sending out a quick reference guide, we sent out an orientation packet and use Canva and like use company photos and different things to really like build up an experience. Joining a learning management system is not the most exciting thing in the world for people. It is for me, but for most employees, they'd probably rather be doing something else. And so, we were able to use and leverage a lot of the creativity and the assets in Canva to make things more exciting and engaging. And it gave us a really good launch. We got really good adoption really early and right away. And Canva definitely helped along with that. We also got approval from our CEO to do a back to school day, and everyone wore it was a pull an all-nighter day, and everyone wore their pajamas to work, and we catered it with like breakfast sandwiches and coffee. And so I think that also helped a lot, but Canva really gave us the genesis for making this whole like orientation launch. One other way I've used Canva is to make digital cards. So we've made digital cards that are like, graphical, or that are little GIFs that you can post in your company like Slack or Teams channels. Canva also has a really inexpensive print section of it. So we've made last year we designed holiday cards for our company and the patients that we serve, and we designed them and printed them all through using Canva, which was really great. We were able to change all these different assets to really be branded with us, and we didn't have to pay an agency and then a printing and all these other things. It was really easy and seamless. And then the last thing, which some of you mentioned, is I've used a lot for customizing logos. So not only like logos for the company, but I've created custom logos that blended like our employee values into a logo that we would then use throughout for, recognition and rewards and mouse pads and fun stuff like that for employee initiatives. And then also for like badging and competitions. We do a fair amount of creating little Slack badges, and when people complete different trainings, they can apply the Slack badge to like their status or as an emoji. So just kind of a fun way to bring different things of what you're doing into life. Canva has a ton of great assets and templates, but you can get a little bit creative by taking some of those and using them just in some of these different like L&D cases. So I will, at the end of the session, share my information, but I would love to stay in touch with everyone here on LinkedIn. And I would just love to hear from you in a month or in a year of all the different cool things that you've used Canva for, and I hope we can stay in touch and do that. Anyone have any other, I guess while we're on it, everyone have any other interesting ways that you've seen Canva be used or that you've used yourself from an L&D lens?
Somebody made me business cards in Canva.
Oh yeah, did I do that?
That was you.
Ah, nice. Yes, that's great. It was for an ATD conference, was it?
Yeah, just general networking on behalf of L&D Philly. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'll add that to my list of use cases. Awesome business cards. Cool. All right. Well, so then let's go ahead and the Photoshop feature of Canva. Yes, we will dive into that later. We'll have the opportunity to take a picture of my daughter and change her stuffed animal into something using like an AI generated tool. So stay tuned. Cool. Okay. All right. Well, so let's so two options for everyone. I'm going to share my screen here in a moment. You can just simply watch, learn, listen, take notes, or if you want to go ahead and follow along, I'm going to give everyone a moment to create and or log into a free account. So I think the instructions should be in the chat here, starting at canva.com/free. There is a purple sign up button that you're going to want to hit as your login method. And then there will be a window that pops up that's asking you if you want to do a 30-day trial. Just ignore that button. Canva has an actual free account that you can use for $0 in perpetuity. And then you can decide if you want to try a free trial as well. So I'll give everyone just a moment to get logged in and or create that sign up. When you have done that, Good question, Matt. For new users, would you recommend it on a smartphone or laptop? I have never tried Canva on a smartphone. I can't even text without like a ton of spelling errors. So I would recommend laptop. I'm not super familiar like what the user interface looks like. So I'd recommend laptop, but I'm also not cool and hip. So maybe the smartphone interface is really great. I'm going to share my screen here, and then Suzanne, keep me honest if you can see it and if I'm sharing the right thing. Taylor, that's a great question, asking if I recommend the paid version or the free version. I started out using the free version. There are some features, functionality, there's some assets that require a paid subscription. There's also some assets that you can purchase for like a one-time use that are not super expensive. So I would recommend, at least for our time together, I'd start with the free account, poke around in it. As you get a little bit more familiar, if there are things that you feel like, oh, I would really want to use this function often and I can't, I'd recommend the paid. I think the number one benefit of the paid account is there is a brand hub associated, so you can load in your own specific fonts, colors, logos, and that makes it really easy to design brand specific stuff for your company or your team or yourself or whomever. I think that's a really big value add. If you're accessing Canva for your company, I'd recommend the paid account. I don't think it's that big of a spend. Sure. All right. Okay, Suzanne, am I sharing the right thing? Okay. Okay, awesome. Does anyone need any more time to log in and or get their account set? Okay, all right. Well, we are going to first walk through the navigation of the system. And in doing so, I will start to highlight for you some of the different features and functionalities of Canva. So we're going to start up here at the top navigation bar right here. And we're going to start with the design spotlight. And so the design spotlight is going to show us all of the different assets and templates that Canva has available for us. There are a lot, as you can see. Canva makes it really easy to navigate in many different ways. So oftentimes I'll show you how to navigate from one of the different toolbars, and you can likely do that search through a number of different areas. But so this is going to be categorized here by documents that are a little bit more visual, by photos and videos, by print documents or marketing specific documents. It also has this ability where you can just browse all of the different templates that Canva has to offer. So I would definitely say bookmark some time for yourself to go and look through that, because there's a ton of different things. I have learned a lot in Canva about observances and employee kind of corporate type of holidays that I didn't know existed. So it's interesting. They have, not only do they have a lot of great design assets, but unlike other programs, they populate them with real information and data. And so sometimes you get to learn like a little something new, which always sounds exciting. So this is the design spotlight is one way to navigate to what type you're looking for. So if we wanted to make a presentation, we can go ahead and start right here and start looking at those templates. If we wanted to make a collage from a corporate event that we were recently at, or an L&D Philly meetup, we can start here with the photo collage. like I mentioned, we can also just click browse and you can see just a different visual view of the different types. So you can see what designs are popular. You can see what type of designs might be featured in specific type of collections. Um, at any time by clicking this purple button right here on the top right next to this very cute picture of my kids, you can click this purple create a design button, and then that's also going to give you all of these different options for what you might want to be making. So if I'm wanting to make a logo, I can start there. Computer's going slowly. Maybe it doesn't want me to make a logo. So we could start, at that point. So that's the top hand navigation. A couple other things that are really helpful. This learn section of Canva does an excellent job of providing tools and resources as you move on through your Canva journey. So this workshop is a great first step. I'm super happy to see everyone here and go through this. But they have a lot of really great, the Canva blog has a lot of great articles and resources, a lot of good info specifically on accessibility as well. They have a really excellent design school, which will teach you different tutorials and courses specific to Canva. So you can click into there and find something that's really helpful for you. Canva for beginners, if this workshop's terrible. Different courses like print advertising or presentations, they do a really nice job of making it very easy to engage in the tool and to learn additional things. So at any time, this Learn Center here is helpful for you. I attended a Canva event once and it was really, really excellent and engaging. And so I definitely would recommend spending some time in the Learn section. That'll give you a lot of really good and great resources. Let's see what else here. This gear icon right here is going to help you manage any account settings. So if you expand your account and want to add other people, if you want to upgrade, once Taylor gets in on this and she says, oh, this is amazing, I'm going to upgrade to my paid account, you can do that here. All those different fun things are available under that. And then, yeah, you can click this purple create a design button and kind of go off to the races. The second thing that I wanted to show you, so that covers the top navigation of the system, and it gives you a little bit of glimpse into some of the type of projects we can create. The second thing that I want to show you is this side navigation. So if you click the hamburger right next to the left of Canva, or the 3 lines, you'll see some other different options that I'll walk you through. To be honest, I hate that thing is called a hamburger. Hamburger is not my hamburger is my married name, and my husband and I used to work together alongside with Paul, and before he started we created his ID badge and it had just a picture of a hamburger, and I used to just give him so much trouble and grief, and just I thought it was so hysterical. And then now here I am, and that is my last name, and will give me the same grief. And so every time I have to say click the hamburger icon, I just I shudder a little bit. So that's my story. But so here on the side panel right here, I have no idea what this magic is coming button, but I'm very intrigued. They have something exciting happening in 6 days. But this side panel is going to help you better organize. So once you get moving in Canva and you're making a ton of different designs and presentations, you need to keep yourself organized some way. And the side panel is what is the most helpful to do that. So once you have a lot of different designs, you'll be able to put them into different projects. So you can create folders here and add a bunch of designs into them. I know for us at L&D Philly, we have a final designs folder. And so I'll make a couple drafts and Josh will weigh in on it. And we decide, okay, this is great. This is ready to go for the website. We'll put it in that shared folder. and then that will allow our web and all the different things to be able to have access to that design anywhere. So you can add your projects here. I'll also show you as we go through some of the templates how to star things that you like and that you think you want to use in the future. So you can do all of that here. You can also add different team members to be able to be on your team, to collaborate with, different stuff like that. So the side panel is going to really help you kind of keep you organized. That's like your little filing cabinet over here on the side where everything else is up on the top. The second thing to call out here on this little side panel is the templates. So if you're following along and you want to click into the template, it will allow you to, it'll show you a whole bunch of different templates that you can choose from, either from a text perspective or oh, right, let's try that again. So we navigate to templates. We will have on the right-hand side, you'll see a visual representation of all your templates. And then under here, you'll see them categorized into different types. So if you're clicking along with me, let's go into business templates by using the caret. And then let's click into presentations, since that was one that a lot of people had marked that they wanted to learn more about. When you look over here on the right-hand side, you will see all of the different templates. You can see that there's over 16,000 presentation templates to choose from, which is a lot. So what I recommend as a great starting point for when you're working in Canva is selecting what type of design you're looking to do. So in our situation, we are making a presentation together. And then using this filters area right here, this is going to really allow you to key in to see what type. You can filter out things that you like, things that you don't like, to really help you go into like have a good starting point. So you can filter like what type of format that you're looking to do. You can filter up the aesthetic that you like. So I like purple. And so here are all of the purple forward, if you will, templates that are here to apply. You can look at different themes. This can be a little bit overwhelming when you're thinking, I just need a starting spot and there's 16,000, even 1,000 different templates to choose from. Feature and price to me always seem to be very helpful. So if you are looking for a presentation that is animated or has some like video elements to it or audio, you can select that here. Similarly to our question earlier, you can also look for price. So if you have only a free account and you're not interested in purchasing anything further, you can navigate to free. And now you see we still have 566, which is still pretty good, but options to choose from here. So starting at a blank space and or using the filters here can be really, really helpful. I will show you shortly, but when we look at different assets, there's going to be two icons that we want to be aware of. One of them is a crown, and that denotes that this feature or function is something that you need to pay for. So you can add that in and they'll say, hey, you owe us $1.05 for this GIF that you chose. And so I'll show you what that looks like here just in a moment. Okay, so going back to this like left-hand navigation here, we were able to look at how we organize our projects first. We have looked at our templates. This I had mentioned a little bit earlier. This is, you can see this crown icon here, meaning that you have to have a paid version of Canva, but this is allows you to set up your brand kit, which for me and for the marketing teams that love me is a very great option because you can load in all of your logos. You can load in your specific color palette, your fonts. I don't really know what a brand voice exactly means, but like photos, shared graphics, icon sets, all of those different things. It's really nice to have that all in one spot. So you don't have to be typing in hex codes and all these different things every time you're trying to add something that might be specific to your brand or your company. And so I think this is, from my perspective, one of the most useful pieces of Canva is if you do have a paid account, setting up that brand kit and then being able to easily use that. There's a lot of good assets in Canva and like images and graphics that you can totally customize. So I'll show you how we do that, but that's a really cool way to, say you want to look for an image of a stack of books and you have a 4-color logo, you can change the color of each of those books to match your specific logo. And it just gives it a really nice, kind of like nice red thread that goes through all the things that you're doing. And then there is this apps section. I think this would be maybe better covered in a level 2 workshop, but we will make a QR code together before we leave. But there are also some just applications that are really, really cool. I don't know if I want my face to look like a custom emoji, but maybe, there's some different options here. All right, so that is the navigation of it. The more you work in it, the more you design, you'll kind of find your own little niches and different things that you like to do. I'll pause here for a moment though. From a navigation perspective or otherwise, are there any questions before we start creating our first design? I don't think I see any questions. Give me like a hand clap reaction if everyone's ready to create your latest and greatest Canva design. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Cool. Does anyone have a specific design in mind that they're going to be making? No? Okay. Okay. All right, let's dive into it. One important note before we start, the design editor doesn't open in a separate window, and that can be tricky and different for some folks. So as you get more familiar with navigating around, worth just keeping in mind that when we open up this editor and we make certain things, it's going to all be in the same window. Okay, so let's align on creating a business presentation. And so let's go over here to our left toolbar. We're going to go into templates. We're going to go into business, and then we're going to go into presentations. And then I'm just going to start with a blank presentation to begin with. Feel free to click on anything that strikes your fancy, but I'm going to just go into this blank presentation here. Okay, so there's a lot of different navigation points in Canva. sorry, I said it, the editor does not open in a separate window. It does, as you can see. When we're in our design, we get a different type of navigation bar here at the top. And so some things that I want to show you as we create our presentation together is we're going to start up top here. We're going to start under File, and we're going to go to View Settings. And this is going to allow you and give you some really good design guidelines. I admittedly am terrible about using these. It's a really bad habit of mine. I think, oh, I can line it up, or I'll just use the grids that they have. I could definitely get better in that. But so under View Settings, you can show rulers and guides. And so you'll see that this will put a nice ruler up top here for you. So if you add any elements on here and move it around, it's subtle, but you can see like the top part of the grid is going to be highlighted in a little bit of a darker gray to show where you are within that grid. Similarly, under File, View Settings, you can click Add Guides, and that's going to give you a column view, a 3x3 grid, something custom. So if spatially this is a way that you like to work, these guides can be really helpful. You can show margins, and so if you were designing something that was going to be printed, you'll get this nice little dotted line, and that'll show you this is like the safe zone for print, and anything outside of this is at risk for, you know, being cut differently. And then same thing with there is this nice little design accessibility, and so this will help take a look at your design, and it'll give you a little indicator here on the right of how your typography looks, if your colors are contrasted well for that, if you've included some alternate text for any graphics that you added, etc. So that's it's a really great starting point to start designing with some access in mind.
I'm sorry, Rachel, I missed where that accessibility thing popped up.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Yeah. If you go up to top here to File, View Settings, it is the last checkbox.
One. Okay.
And so these, you click them to enable it, and then you have to click it to disable as well. So yeah, it's gonna be right here on the bottom.
I'm not seeing that in my menu. I don't know if it's because I'm in the free account, or maybe I'm in View Settings, and then I've got Show Margins and Show Print Bleed, and that's it.
Interesting, because I made a free account today just for this, and I do see it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to hold everything up. I'll figure it out.
I'll take it down as a note and see. That's interesting. Yeah, that's weird. Anyone else not seeing that?
I'm in a free account too, and I do have it, so I'm not sure. Yeah,
You do.
I have it. Yeah, I'm able to pull it up.
Man, no access.
I must be special, or it's a user error. Let's just move on. I'll figure it out.
Okay, so that is that's the view settings here. It'll also give you the ability here to there's a save button here. The nice thing about Canva, it auto saves every couple of seconds, and so don't really have to worry too much about that function. But if you've ever lost a really big project like I have, I tend to manually save things a lot just to give myself a little bit of peace of mind. So that is there. It'll also give you some options to download yours, which I'll show you in a little bit. Use the find and replace, all those kind of good things. So we have our bank presentation here, though. We have an undo and redo button here, just like most kind of similar projects as well. And then What I want to point out that's a little bit different is you have this share with others button. This will allow you to collaborate with other folks who might be on your account. And so if I create a design and I want to send it over to Josh to see his, initial reviews, I can do that easily here. By adding that, you can also send out links to people who don't have Canva to get their input on some different designs that you're working on. And then this is also where you would download your final product. So we will download ours once we make it. One little trick that I have is oftentimes I'll be looking for something. I'll be looking for an icon or something. And I can't find it in any of the search engines that I have. And I want it to have a transparent background. And that can be really hard to find. You could spend a ton of time just Google searching and looking for different stuff. And so what I love to do is in Canva, I will use the elements function. I'll find whatever I want, or I'll pull something from online. I'll import it in here. And then they have this really great background remover. And so you can remove backgrounds, or when you want to download something, you have the option of selecting whatever file type you want. So I'll select a PNG, and then you can, with the paid account, you can select transparent background. And so that's super helpful. If you can't find what you're looking for, you can just dump it into Canva, select the transparent background, and then download it back out and use it however you want. I think that's worth the paid account almost alone, is just being able to get things to be transparent or backgrounds removed like really easily without having to open up like Adobe Design Studio and all that fun stuff.
Rachel, can you just walk through what you clicked one more time for that?
Sure. Yeah. So I can't actually do it with my free account
with
here,
the free
but
account. Okay.
you would essentially just add your asset here. Under the share button, that is where you can download any item. So you click download. That's going to allow you to select if you want it to be like a PDF, an MP4. If you select PNG with the paid account, you will have the option to, I can't click it here, but you can see up here, you'll have the option to set it as a transparent background and then download that. It's wonderful. So let's do it. Let's get to it. I'm going to go back into my presentation here. And so I'm creating this isn't the right one. Sorry. I want to create my presentation. It will come out. Okay. Okay, so we have our blank presentation here. Let's look at the different templates. And so we can see up here, there's some different options for us. History, science, green. I'm gonna say, let's pick a business type of template that we see down here. And then just go ahead and select one that you like. I'm going to click this project proposal and add that as my template that we'll start to manipulate. If this type of view is a little bit overwhelming in the templates, you can click these top headers as well and look at different layouts. I don't know why this is running so slowly. So you can see here some like different options for layouts. You can also see some different options for styles. I like this a lot and I use it often. It'll instead of having to be a graphic designer and know what colors match well and which fonts look good together, you can click on styles and find a combination that you like, and you can apply that to anything. So I'm going to start with this proposal here. I am going to use this style that I really like and click it, and then it's going to automatically update that design with these different styles here. So this is just a really good option as like a starting point to be able to look at like the look and feel of what you like, the color combinations, the fonts, etc. And so I am going to start with this proposal here. I am going to go into my text box and let's change the name of this proposal to something that you would want to be working on. I am going to change the name of it to Wahini Surfing, which is my fake surfing company that I'm going to have someday. So within this text box up top, I can select any different font that I want that I think would look nice. I can change the color of that. Canva does a really nice job of giving you the color palette of different things that are included in your presentation. And so you can select things to change to that. Let's go from our presentation. Let's go down the side panel here into elements. This is like the most fun part of Canva. This gives you the option to look at tables, photos, videos, audio, shapes. Graphics, I think, is probably the most useful. So let's click into, in your presentation, go into the element side panel here, and then let's click into graphics. And then I am gonna, let's search for a graphic. I'm gonna search for a picture of a surfer to put here on my design. A female surfer, let's do that. And then I'm gonna come up with all these different design elements right here. So if you guys remember, if it has a crown, that means it's associated with a pro account. If it doesn't, that means it's free for anyone to use. So you can type in what you're looking for. It'll also give you a couple different suggestions up here. So if you're looking for surfboard, surfing, etc. So I am going to click and just add this into my presentation. Now you'll see up top here, we can do a lot of different things with this element that we just added. We can edit the image to look a little bit different through some of these options here. We can crop it if there's any parts of it that we don't want to see. We can flip the orientation of it. And then we can also change the color. And so, like I mentioned, it's going to give us this like nice color palette that'll match the background here. So I can pick a nice purple that we see back here. I can select a different solid color if I want. If I had my brand loaded in here, I could use that. You can also use the color picker, which I really, really like. So you can add in your specific hex colors, or you can use this dropper to select a color from in here that maybe I want him to be this green color. You can select that and it'll allow it to change and modify there. So that is very helpful from a color perspective. You can also edit the border style. So if you want to have a black border around here that looks pretty thick, you can do that. You can also, this position function is really helpful if you have a graphic and like a text box and you want them to line up. You can use the position function to align them either to the top of each other or to the middle or to the center. Different things like that can be really helpful. So if I had like 3 surfers and I wanted them to be all aligned at the top, I would just select all of them. And then you'll get this under position, this like space evenly function, and you can line them up vertically or horizontally or just tidy up, because I think it's the best button ever. It will just align everything for you pretty easy and simply. So there's a lot of good options here. Like I had mentioned, there's some assets, I'm going to try this lady over here, that once you select them, you can see that every color that's on this graphic, you can edit. And so if you have your brand colors loaded in, or if I want this all to be, you know, various shades of purple, I can select the different colors here that I can see on my graphic and change it. So if I'm not down with the red swimsuit and I want a yellow one, I can do that. So that's nice. It gives you a lot of flexibility to really align what you're looking for into this type of graphic. Similarly with presentations, you can animate anything that we have here on our presentation. So if I want this rad surfer girl to like fly in from the bottom, I would go up here into the animate button, and you'll see all the different types of animations that you have here. I am gonna pick the scrapbook option, because I think it's like kind of just different than something you would have. And so we can animate that. If you want things to look a little bit more transparent, so they're not getting in the way of things, you can click this transparent button and modify that a little bit so it can be a little bit more in the background if you wish. And then if you go up to present here in the top right, you will be able to see what your design would look like animated. You should be able to. Here we go. So you can see, oh, okay, cool. That's what it would look like. Let's see here. One other really interesting thing that I like in when you're making a design or a presentation and you have some certain things that you don't want them to go anywhere. Like I want Wahine surfing to be right in the middle, and when I'm moving stuff around, I don't want it to move or to modify. If I click on that asset and I go up to my navigation bar and I click on this lock, that will then get locked. So I can't accidentally, while I'm clicking around, move it or drag it or change it. And I get very excited and I like to click on things rapidly, and I think I have a great idea and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And I always end up moving things and have to realign them. And so this locking feature can be really, really helpful. So if I'm playing around and I think I definitely want this, I definitely want this, it allows you to just be able to easily more navigate things that you can click and move on top of stuff without risking editing stuff that you already have there and kind of decided.
Rachel, we have a question in the chat from Matt. If
Yeah.
you had a moment to answer that.
Yes. Let's see. Where is my chat? Okay. Do you know if all these graphics are from stock elements produced from Canva, or do they come from other internet sources? That's a great question. I believe that creators can source with Canva to use their different designs. So for instance, like if you go to a design and you click the little ellipses right here, it's going to give you a little bit more info. So this one is paid. It'll show you that it costs $1. It'll show you some of the keywords here. It also will give you the name and the information of whoever created it. And so if you like the general like look and feel of a certain maybe set of people or icons or something, you can click on that person, and now we can see everything that Katarina has created. They're kind of all over the place here, but that's really all I know about how they're created and added in. I do know that in addition to graphics, we can also add shapes and tables and photos. And I think oftentimes the photos will also say like where they're from as well. So hopefully that answered, Matt, what you were getting at. Hopefully. So now you know how to add any graphic, and you can change the colors and the borders and all those things using this tool right here. You can lock them in when you feel good about them. Similarly, you can do that with shapes as well. So we can, add a heart here. Through the position, I can send it to the front. I can send it to the back of things, etc. There is a really good tool, a copy style tool that I want to show you. So if we want all of our graphics to say let's put like a border around it. That's a bad idea. That's a bad option. Here, let's put, say I want to have this heart. I want it to be purple. I want there to be a dotted border around this graphic. I think that looks great. If I want to make sure that any other shapes that I put on here have this similar look and feel, instead of doing it manually, I'm going to use this copy style function. It looks like a little roller paintbrush. And so if you click on that, oops, I did it the wrong way, sorry. If you click on the graphic that you want to maintain the style from, you click the little roller, and then you click on something else, it's going to apply all of that, your color, your border, all of that to different things. So it's a really great way to be able to gain and gather some consistency there. Similarly too, if you have created that and you think, oh, you know what, I just really don't like this, I want to have something that has like less stars, you can click the shapes here. Wait, did I wrong? I'm messing it up, I'm sorry. You can apply it to many different things here. So there's a lot of good shapes. The search function of Canva can be really helpful. Not everything that they show you is actually like what's available sometimes. And so I would definitely recommend using the search function in these different areas. So we have shapes, we have graphics, again, tables, photos, frames is something that I like to use a lot. It allows you to add pictures in a really nice, crisp type of way. And so if we click on frames here, we'll see a bunch of different options for photos that we can add and apply. So let's go ahead over to frames here, and then select whatever kind you want. I love using frames when I want to add something technical into an area that looks like real. So I'm going to check this frame for a computer monitor. And then over here on our toolbar, there is an upload section where you can add your own photos, graphics, whatever you need. And so I have a couple photos here of the littlest hamburgers. And so I want this computer to look like the background of it is a picture of Nicholas. And so I am going to pull this photo over, and then you just hover over top of the frame, and then it drops it in there for you. And if you double click on it, you can move and modify your picture so don't like cut his little head off. So frames is a really cool element to use. You'll see in all L&D stuff, like we use this nice crisp circle to put in presenter photos. It just gives a really nice, like way and view of being able to see someone or something. And so frames can be a really, really helpful tool for that. Similarly under the elements here, there's also like nice little collections of stuff. So Matt, this might speak to your question a little bit as well, but you know, if we're making this presentation and we want it to reflect that we're in, you know, spooky season right now, you can find these little sets that'll have a lot of different graphics or icons based on similar things. And so you can just come and like grab them and place them in different things and places. And so it can bring a little level of just kind of like a combo to everything. Think of what else with elements. So you can, like I mentioned, you can upload images, videos, and audio to use here, which is great and really helpful. This is a newer feature, but you can also like draw on things as well. So if you want to have your presentation have like a little personal touch, you can add that in there, or you can draw a little mustache on your friend, whatever. You can use this draw feature also. Couple other things you can add. The free version doesn't have a ton, but you can add some royalty-free audio into presentations or videos, which can be really helpful. And so in order to do that, you would click this audio tab down here and search for maybe what you'd be looking for. We'll choose this like ukulele song, and you'll see how it gets applied down here into this specific slide. And then if you click the present button, it'll show you what it looks like and what it sounds like for this presentation, which may have been one of the strangest presentations I've ever made, but here we are. So the music piece of that can be really, really helpful. Also, the let's talk about making a QR code here under the elements. So you can make QR codes with oh, there's a lot of stuff in here. You can make it with a free account. I think there might be some different settings with the paid account, but if you just go, sometimes they pack just a ton of stuff here under elements. So if you want to go under elements and click QR, you will see that there is this app that Canva's created for us to be able to make a QR code. And so if you click use the app, and you can enter in whatever URL you want. I'll put equals. Click generate code. It's going to drop out this cute little QR code for you. If you use the paid version, you can change the background colors and the foreground colors to like match your brand. But this will essentially make a QR code for you. I'm gonna test it with my phone just to see if it goes to PhiladelphiaEagles.com. And it does. And so a really just kind of quick and easy way. I love using this like for the end of presentations, or if I'm asking people to say like to join a Kahoot or something like that. It's a great way to be able to have people in the room be able to visually get it down, in addition to like using the chat function and different stuff like that as well. So any questions with the QR code?
Rachel, you said you use it for Kahoot, but what was the other thing that you commonly use QR codes for?
We use it for for like surveys. So I'll make a Google form about a presentation and then ask people to scan it and be able to just knock it out on their phone when they're right there. I'm all about trying to I think about how lazy I can be as a learner, and I try to maneuver around that. So I figure, okay, well, if I don't have to like go back to my desk and do X, Y, and Z, and I can just do it right there, then like have a better chance of getting some initial feedback.
So how would you just open a blank? I mean, you literally would just come in here for that code, and would you use that QR code somewhere else, or would you do a blank presentation here?
That's a great question. I would usually do a blank presentation and
Yeah.
like have something that's sort of like, we want to hear from you. So maybe I'd look for like I'll grab like a thought bubble here.
Yeah.
And drop it in there. This is a paid thought bubble. And then I would copy and paste my Google form here.
Yeah.
And then I would like drop it in there, or you can just make, you can.
And then you would put it in the bubble,
Here.
the QR code in the bubble.
And I put it in the bubble, right? Or I mean, you can just drop a QR code really anywhere. I do this probably more than I would like to admit, but sometimes I'll just do like a screen snip of it. So I'll just plop something on here, or I'll think, oh, I need to make a logo really quickly that has our brand colors, and I'll do it in Canva, and then I'll just do like a screen snip of it and then just use it. Like sometimes
And it looks fine.
And it looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what I would recommend. I usually put like a little bit of text in and around it just so I can remind myself like, oh, what is this? Like what form does it go to? But it's really easy. It's really effective too. I found it too.
Well, that's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions on QR codes or presentations? Like what else are you guys hoping to see?
One of the things that I find is that I'm so overwhelmed. So obviously like a template is a good place to start. But other than that, like kind of what are the questions that you ask yourself before you go in and you start designing so that you're not all over the place?
Yeah, that's a great question. I rarely go into Canva without like an idea in mind. It can be overwhelming. It can be sometimes just paralyzing. There's so many different options that you just think, oh my gosh, I have no idea where to start. So what I typically like to do is I like to go in, I like to select, I like to use the filters that they have available to really pick like where I'm trying to do. And so if I'm looking for something that's like more, they have like corporate or simple, or I like some of like the more simple, maybe elegant, different stuff like that. I'll start there. So if we like click on simple, you'll see here some different options here. When you find something that you like I'll select this one and say, okay, cool, we're going to use this design. There's also like, they'll give you just different template styles and other similar type of templates. So I like to do it that way. Oftentimes I'll just start from a blank page though, and just, I'll use some of these as maybe like inspiration, but I'll often just go into it and just kind of go that way. I really use it more for supporting presentations. Like I don't really build a ton of full presentations in there, but I'll think, oh, you know what? Like we need a scale, and the scale needs to show us like the like patient experience versus like the technology experience. And I'll often go and I'll like start there from the elements, and I'll say, okay, like let me look up an element of like a scale. And I'll see, oh, okay, oh, maybe like something like this. And then I'll think, okay, like what would a graphic look like for like a patient? What would a graphic look like for, technology? And I often go from that direction. When you select some different graphics and assets, they have this cool little feature called magic recommendations. This is a great option, Suzanne. So if I clicked this, I thought, oh, I like this. This isn't exactly what I'm looking for. You can see they have this little magic things that pop up. If you click see all, you'll see like a ton of different options. So think, oh, cool, I can use this one and I don't have to have that toolbar down here. Or, oh, I think I'd rather see it like in a version that looks like stars. So that is helpful. Like gives you a lot of like good tools. Like once you kind of get a starting point, then it'll help you sift through it a little bit. And then again, oftentimes a lot of these you can change. So if my brand colors are purples, I can like modify these to like look like what they would and could look like. And then when I want, I can export this presentation, or I can download it, and then it can be a JPEG, it can be a PNG. You can make little GIFs as well, like some elements. If you click this little divider, I'm sorry if you can hear screaming. If you click this little divider up here, you can pick something that's static, or you can pick something that's animated. And so there's not a ton of options in the free version, but like, oh, here I can add this little, you know, Jeepers Creepers here. And, you know, you can use that as like a little GIF or something that you would like as well. So a lot of, there's a lot of trial and error. When I find things that I like, I will often, if you go to the ellipses, you can add things to like your folders. And so you can really just kind of start to build a little bit of like a portfolio for yourselves of things that you like, things that you have found like helpful, and things of that sort. So that's what I would recommend.
Rachel, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I'm used to, I use PowerPoint a lot, and I'm used to, you know, going in someplace with my laptop and with PowerPoint loaded up and my presentations in PowerPoint, and I'm all good to go. But when you download in Canva, you're not getting a presentation, right? I mean, would I have to be online and connected to my account to actually like present from whatever I create here?
That's a good question, Paul. I don't often use PowerPoint, but what I do is when I go and do my presentation, I will typically download this as JPEGs, which are essentially the size of the slide, and then I just paste them in. So if I have this presentation's like what, let's say 14 pages, I will download those all individually as files, or if there's animation, I'll download them as an MP4, and then I'll import that into my presentation.
Into a PowerPoint is what you're saying? Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah.
So, but if you wanted to, like I see it's got the present button on there. So if you wanted to just present straight out of Canva, then you have to be online and looking at your account, right? I mean, I'm
That's
assuming.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. There isn't a way to design it where then you're controlling the animation in PowerPoint that I know of today.
Okay.
The Learn Center might say otherwise, but I don't think so. Like the animation function came out more recently, and it's not as robust as like a Google Slides or PowerPoint. Like you can't, right now it will just like left to right or top to bottom. That's what it animates. Like you can't select what and when. And so a little bit of that functionality is still pretty basic. I would assume that they'd probably be building it in fairly soon, because I think the tool's getting really popular. But for right now, you'd lose that functionality.
Right. Well, I certainly see this as definitely like a much more robust graphics kind of sandbox to build things. And then, like you were saying, you build them in here and they become assets that you then put into other, you know, presentations and things.
Yes, that's absolutely it. I rarely create like an entire presentation in here. I will just take bits and pieces and then import them out and then insert them into like the tools that I'm already using. So the Google Slides and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. It's just the graphics, the elements, the framing. That's all really robust, and being able to like change it to really whatever you need is great. It's also a lot more affordable than joining like a paid like icon account or something. It's definitely, and it's more fun, a lot more fun. Yeah. I have designed all of our Christmas cards and all of my kids' birthday party invites using Canva, and it's very fun.
That's awesome.
All right, so how about with like the last little bit of time, I'll show you a couple things that we can do with some photos. Does that sound good? Unless there's anything else that I told you that we would cover that we didn't get to. I think checking off my little list here.
Rachel, there was another from Taylor. I actually was the one who mentioned that I've leveraged
Oh,
Canva's
yeah.
templates to create job aids and workbooks. And I don't know if you have time to share that with the group.
Yeah, that's a great option. Let's take a look at that. So I'm going to navigate back home. I'm going to go into, let's see, there's a couple of different options. They have, Canva has a lot of good infographics. So sometimes if you're looking for like a one pager or a quick infographic on something, they have some really great options throughout here, which can be a good starting point or a good addition to like a workbook and or a playbook. They also have, now I'm forgetting the name of it, there is some flyer templates that you can use as a workbook and a starting point as well. But what is the one I want? Is it print? Trying to think. Which one do you typically start with?
I think there was an option for at one point in time, because I haven't used it in a few months, but I did workbook or I did like a yearbook, and I
Okay.
started with that and I manipulated that.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool. I can see
Yeah,
workbook.
there you go.
Workbook templates.
So
Excellent.
yeah, it really gives you a good starting point. You can manipulate, move things around, and like Rachel said, add your, I work for a firm that's very heavy on branding. So we added our
Mhm.
branding, color schematics and everything. So
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for bringing it up. This is, yeah, so let's pick this career coaching. Oh, workbook, you are not available. Let's go to a free one. Here we go. It's wellness workbook. So the nice thing about it too is they won't always have just
sorry,
like one front design. They'll have, a bunch of different pages. And then, yeah, so great. I'm glad. Thank you so much for bringing that up. There's a lot of different good options.
And the free ones are not copyrighted?
No. No.
Hey.
I know. It's awesome. I'm like, am I doing something wrong that I shouldn't be doing?
It's just like, what?
It does. It feels like it. It really
like you're
does. I
stealing.
know. People are like, oh, I'm
Because
just not creative like you
right.
are. And I'm like, Canva is creative. And I just leverage it for like, I leverage it, but yeah, no, it's great. And then, yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. Workbooks is a great function. There is, I don't know if you do stuff for, if anyone's doing stuff that like posts to maybe like any sort of social accounts for your company, but you can create those designs and then you can, from here, you can send them right to your phone. So if you need to post to that account as well. So like if we created, I don't know, a Facebook post that said, we deliver coffee. Oh, no, just let me use the free one. Okay, right. So if maybe none of these are free, I can't see. Okay, sorry. Anyways, you get the point. So if I added this and I wanted to post it right to Facebook, you can go to share and then you have your download options, but then you can share and link directly to your social and do it right from there. There's also, apparently, I've never used it, but like a content planner as well. So if you have the paid version, you can look at a calendar, figure out what content, create it in Canva, schedule it to there, and then it'll just fire away, which is pretty cool. Great question though. And thanks for bringing up that workbook. there's so much, there's so much. There's really so much. I think the keys to the castle are getting really comfortable with like the navigation, and then just somehow in our very busy days, just finding time to like play and click around, and using some of like the learn functions that they have available can be really helpful.
Have you ever used the whiteboards?
I have not ever used the whiteboards yet. This is fairly new. I want to say they rolled that out maybe like the last cycle.
Oh.
They haven't. They have rolled that out. They've rolled out some different some AI that I haven't used too much yet. It looks like in 6 days they're rolling out some other really new cool thing. They do a good job of keeping you updated like via email, and not in an annoying way, of what's new and like what's happening, and some good like bite-sized learnings that'll say, hey, we've rolled this out and here's how to use it really quickly, which I find really helpful. I will show you one thing I think that you can do with the free account that I found like pretty interesting, is you can, with photos, they have a decent amount of options of things that you can do. So again, you can upload any photo, or you can use a photo that they have. This is Natalie. She's so cute. If you click edit photo, so some of these are paid. The background remover for photos is super, super helpful. But they also have some of these like new different things. They have this one right here called Magic Edit. And so essentially how this works is you upload a photo. It's going to ask you to like brush over the image that you want to change or modify. And then you just kind of type in what you're hoping to see there, and then it appears. So I am going to use this photo. I'm going to take out this giant strawberry pillow, and then we can ask it to replace it with anything. So does anyone, what do you guys want to replace this giant strawberry with?
Coffee maker.
A coffee maker? Natalie loves coffee. She's a dirty chai kind of kid. All right, let's see here. Right, sorry. Okay, all right, so we've got it selected here. Gonna continue. So I'm gonna put a coffee maker. Oh, it's suggesting a cute dog. And then I'm just gonna click the generate button. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Show me coffee maker. There you go. It's very odd and very strange, but could be helpful in some respects. But yeah, so there's some different things like the photo edit. You can also use some of the effects down here to like blur. So you can blur the background, or like the foreground of some different things. In the paid version, you can retouch photos, which is really nice if you know how to do that. Or they also have some good, just easy buttons where we'll just say, do you want to retouch the color and this and that? And you click yes, and it takes away your shininess and all that different fun stuff. You can also like modify some of the shadows and different things as well. And so much like a Microsoft product, if you want to add some different drop shadows or outline certain things, you can do that. You can do that there as well. I'm a big fan of removing the background of a photo. I can't do that with this account, but let's picture Natalie has an outline around her. And then oftentimes I'll make that outline like really large and in a different color, and it kind of creates sort of like a little sticker effect, which looks kind of cool and different, you know, in presentations as well. So that can be really fun. So yeah, there's a lot of different good stuff that you can do. I wish I could show you the background remover. That's probably what I use the most, is I drop photos in there, I remove the background, I add assets, I change the colors of them, and then usually load it in other places. I think that is probably all the info that I have to impart today. Are there any questions that I can answer, or is there anything else that you're hoping to see? I can make a quick little video. I can send it out to anyone.
Well, in
Okay.
case, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, because I know we are at time, so if anybody has any questions, Rachel can hang on for a moment, but I do want to take the opportunity before everybody drops off to thank you for joining us, and thank you very much, Rachel. I'm a little bit scared because I want to play with everything tomorrow morning instead of doing the work that I need to do. And I could see just like getting lost in this and in all the possibilities. So I'm really excited to enhance some of the things that I've been doing that have been honestly pretty basic compared to what is available here. So thank you on behalf of all of us. I appreciate it. And as I said, thank you to everybody. We hope to see you at some future events. And with that, as I said, if you want to log off, go ahead. But if you have any questions, I'm sure Rachel's happy to hang out for a few minutes and answer anybody's questions.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. It was great. I would just say start small. You don't need to create a full presentation in Canva within the first week of you using it. Make a graphic, make a logo, make something that you can easily insert into the current tools that are using, and then expand from there. But also I would say make sure you build into time in your day and in your working to allow time for yourself to learn. L&D shouldn't always be the last people who get time to work on themselves and what they're learning. So I've learned that more over the past couple of years to advocate for yourself and give yourself the time, so that way you can work more simply, more creatively, more thoughtfully using tools like this. So yeah, happy to hang around and answer any other questions that folks might have. Please definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. I look forward to seeing all the cool things that everyone gets to make.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks. It was so good to see you. All
Good to see you too. Bye-bye.
right. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Okay. So that leaves it's Vicky, you and I. Thank you so much. I appreciate
You're welcome.
it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's it. Go. I'm sure your kids are asleep already.
I
Hopefully.
wish they were. I think they're tearing up the house.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go help my husband.
Okay, go help him.
Okay.
And
right.
have a
I
really
hope
good
to
night.
see. I hope I
was
get to
such
see you ladies in person sometime soon.
yes.
Yeah, it was great, Rachel. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.